A 30 crore rupees aluminium extrusion plant looks like a powerful industrial asset. But in reality, many plants struggle to generate even 15% returns. Why? Because in extrusion, capacity utilization and conversion margin decide survival. Today, we break down the real numbers. India is the second largest aluminium producer in the world. Annual primary aluminium production exceeds 4 million tons. But here is something interesting. While primary aluminium production is concentrated among a few large players, aluminium fabrication and extrusion is highly fragmented. More than 500 extrusion plants operate across India. Many of them are regional, many of them are capacity underutilized, and most operate in a margin-sensitive environment. Let's break down the real economics of an aluminium extrusion plant. A mid-sized extrusion unit with a 1,200 to 1,800 ton press typically requires an investment between 20 crore rupees and 40 crore rupees. This includes land and building, extrusion press line, billet heater, puller system, aging oven, powder coating or anodizing setup, material handling systems, dies and tooling, and working capital. Installed annual capacity for such a plant may range between 8,000 and 15,000 tons, but actual output rarely matches installed capacity. Average utilization across small and mid-sized extrusion plants in India ranges between 50 and 70%. Why? Because extrusion is demand-linked, construction slowdown directly affects orders. OEM clients negotiate aggressively, dies need frequent changes, order sizes vary, and power cost volatility affects competitiveness. Now let's talk numbers. Extrusion is a conversion margin business. The plant does not mine bauxite. It does not refine alumina. It purchases aluminium billets from large producers. So margin depends on conversion cost per kilogram. Typical conversion charges in India range between 25 rupees and 60 rupees per kilogram depending on profile complexity and finishing. Let's assume an average blended conversion margin of 40 rupees per kilogram. If a plant produces 10,000 tons annually at 65% utilization, that equals 6,500 tons of actual output. At 40 rupees per kilogram contribution, annual gross contribution becomes 26 crore rupees. Now subtract operating costs. Power consumption in extrusion is significant. Electricity and fuel can account for 15 to 25% of total operating cost. Labor, supervisors, quality staff, and maintenance teams add recurring expense. Die maintenance and replacement is another major cost. Interest on debt, depreciation on machinery, administrative overhead. If fixed and semi-fixed costs total 18 rupees to 22 crore rupees annually, net operating surplus may fall into the 4 rupees to 6 crore rupees range. On a capital employed base of 35 rupees to 45 crore rupees, return on capital employed may range between 12 and 16%. Again, not 30%, not extraordinary. Now consider utilization sensitivity. If utilization rises from 65% to 80%, contribution increases significantly. But fixed cost remains largely unchanged. ROCE can jump sharply. But if utilization drops to 50%, the same plant may struggle to cover fixed cost. Operating leverage works both ways. Now add working capital. OEMs often demand 60 to 90-day credit. Raw material suppliers may not offer equivalent credit. Inventory of billets and finished goods locks capital. In extrusion, working capital can equal 20 to 30% of annual revenue, which increases total capital employed, which reduces effective return ratios. Now let's talk competition. Large integrated players benefit from scale. They negotiate better billet rates. They spread fixed cost over higher volumes. Small regional players compete on price, which compresses conversion margins. The only sustainable advantages are strong OEM relationships, high repeat industrial orders, value-added finishing like powder coating and anodizing, low rejection rates, efficient die management, and consistent plant utilization.
Extrusion plants serving only real estate segments face cyclicality. Plants serving automotive, solar structures, railways, and industrial OEMs tend to have better stability. Product mix defines margin quality.
Plain window sections generate lower margins. Custom industrial profiles generate higher margins. Export-focused plants may command better pricing, but they also face currency risk and compliance cost. Now look at industry structure. India's aluminium demand is projected to grow at 6 to 8% annually, driven by urbanization, infrastructure expansion, renewable energy structures, electric vehicles, rail and metro projects. Demand growth exists, but capacity addition is also continuous, which means utilization discipline determines profitability. The extrusion business is not about revenue growth. It is about conversion margin per kilogram, capacity utilization percentage, working capital cycle, and capital efficiency. Many entrepreneurs underestimate die management complexity. Frequent die changeovers reduce productivity. Small batch production reduces efficiency. Plants with structured production planning outperform those running reactive operations. Now let's compare scenarios. Scenario A, 65% utilization, 40 rupees per kilogram conversion margin, ROCE 14%. Scenario B, 80% utilization, same margin, ROCE jumps to 20% plus. Scenario C, 50% utilization, margin drops due to price pressure, ROCE falls below 10%. Same plant, same machines, different utilization. This is the reality of capital-intensive regional processing businesses. Extrusion is not a mining business. It is not a commodity trading business. It is a capacity management business. The press does not generate profit. Throughput generates profit. And discipline protects return on capital. If you are planning to invest in an aluminium extrusion plant, the question is not, is demand growing? The question is, can you secure stable volume at healthy conversion margins? Because in this industry, scale without order book visibility creates stress, but disciplined utilization creates compounding returns. This is Capital and Capacity, where we analyze industrial businesses through capital employed, capacity utilization, and return on capital.